over.
And for Todd, his standard deck was a bit of a gamble. It was Abzan Hydra, playing the Abzan aggro deck, but trying to play Manor Gorger Hydra to get by Hangerback Walkers.
A forest here for Hang, off of a windswept heath. Perhaps we're going to see something like a Warden of the First Tree.
Edward starts out on Warden. Now Ben is on a 6-card hand here.
Yeah, Temple of Plenty is where he's going to start. He's going to scry leave that card on the top. We'll head back Aang's way. Aang's draw, pretty good one in this matchup. Picked up a copy of Tragic Arrogance.
And there's some concern for Ben. His hand appears to have 2 Valorous stances at Dromoka's command in it at the same time. These are great reactionary cards, but I don't know if he actually has a threat or anything to protect. Once he gets in play, I doubt Edward will be able to kill it, and we'll see the rest of the hand here. Yeah, 2 stances, a God's Willing, a Dromoka's Command, 2nd land, and a Treasure Cruise.
Ugh.
The balance of creatures and protection spells is off here.
Yeah, to say the least. I don't like this hand very much if I'm Ben. He is on a mulligan. I don't think I'd want to go down to 5, but yuck.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you can correctly keep this like Ben did, mainly because there's a temple, you're on the draw, and if you hit that creature, you can really protect it a long ways. But I mean, this Thoughtseize is gross.
Yeah.
There's a couple options. Edward can take the God's Willing to choke Ben on mana even further. He can also take the Treasure Cruise, because once you take Treasure Cruise, Ben's hand really doesn't do anything.
Well, here comes the Warden. That'll come across for 1.
He did take the God's Willing. This means that even if Ben does draw a creature, because he only has 2 lands, every spell costs him his entire turn.
Seeker of the Way is here.
Oh,
So Ben kept a creature on top with the Temple.
Right. He has something to protect now. He still doesn't have any auras to put on it. And this is the bind when Edward takes God's Willing. If Ben wants to effectively race here, he's going to have to get an aura or something to make Seeker of the Way bigger. The 2/2's not really going to cut it. But Ben does, first of all, has to draw the aura. Second of all, he has to draw lands 3 and 4, so when he plays an aura or something like that, he can protect Seeker. So Ben is at least 3 cards off of a game plan. That's 3 turns off of a game plan. Edward can play Siege Rhinos in that time.
Yeah. Looks like Warden's ready to come across.
Yeah.
Edward will pump.
All right, then. Has to pay 1 life to do it, but now it's a 3/3.
There's your Sandsep Citadel. That's land number 3. And now we're going to head back Friedman's way. Ordeal of Thassa was the draw. Here's Dromoka's Command. That'll trigger Prowess and be a good turn overall here for Ben.
Yeah, great. He gets to gain 4 life. He gets to eat the Warden of the First Tree. And maybe we speak too soon. Ben still alive. Now he's tapped out. This means that he's opened himself up to removal on Seeker of the Way. If that happens, he'll be back down to 2 lands and no creatures. It's a dangerous place.
Temple of Silence the draw. I think if I'm Edward, I just want to kill that thing.
Hero's Downfall, play a tap land. Seems great. Ben's hand is all Valorous stances. I would love to get Seeker of the Way off the table.
Here's Temple.
You have to think, if you let Ben untap with those lands, that Hero's Downfall is not going to do much.
Yeah, I think, and that's why you want to use Hero's Downfall instead of Abzan Charm, because Destroy versus Exiling.
Right, Hero's Downfall is, yeah, Edward will be happy to have gotten a creature for this.
Yeah. So Downfall will take care of the Seeker. Friedman will draw. He picked up another copy of Seeker.
All right, then.
And now this is interesting because he can't exile that one.
Yeah, so that would be the argument for playing the removal spells in the other way, is that the other play more effectively deals with Ben's next creature.
Sorin Solemn Visitor was the draw.
Yeah, and Edward's hand, I mean, he would love to have something like a Siege Rhino in it right now, some sort of real threat. Sorin Make a Vampire is not a trivial threat, but it's not great.
I'm not excited.
Sorin can make a vampire. He can chump with it. The next turn he could lose the Sorin, make another vampire, Dromoka's Command away a creature, and okay, he's on track. It's not great, but he's taking care of the creatures again. As long as Edward can continue to trade with Ben's creatures, I think he'll be okay. So Soren will make a vampire here. And as Edward knows, if he blocks, this trade's not going to work in his favor. It's a lot of cards, you know, at least 2 Valor stances in Ben's hand. The good news is that Ben did not have another Dromoka's command. Yeah. That was the downside of playing this line.
Valor Stance is going to save the Seeker. Ben going to play a land here and win some teeth and pass the turn back.
Now remember, the way this is shaping up, back when Edward thought he's Ben a long time ago, Ben actually had a Treasure Cruise, and Edward let him keep it. Now, Ben does not have a blue mana yet, but he certainly has enough cards in his graveyard to get a 1 or 2 mana cruise off. Great draw for Edward. Looks like ultimate price.
Yeah, that all works just fine. You're fairly sure your opponent doesn't have God's Willing in hand?
Yeah, well, the only other way he could have killed it would have been to make a vampire and then Dromoka's commanded away, and in that case, he loses his Sorin. This gives him the ability to kill the Seeker and keep his Planeswalker around.
You can simply plus Sorin and keep moving on. So there's ultimate price.
Yeah, could even draw 2 up Abzan Charm. You know, like I said before, I think if he can find a real finisher, an Anafenza, a Siege Rhino, that's the missing piece to the puzzle that Edward doesn't have yet.
Here's Abzan Charm. Don't love the sequencing on this. I think I would have rather cast Abzan Charm first to draw cards to make a more informed decision with the removal spell. I don't think it's going to come back to hurt Edward too much here, but I think I'd rather draw my cards first before casting the removal spell.
He has drawn the threats he needed, Warden of the First Tree and Fleecemane Lion. I really like how that Abzan Charm turned out. The Dromoka's command in Edward's hand is now great. He has a lot of great targets for it. Warden and Fleecemane, both 3/3s, are just big enough to provide quality threats against Ben. And now they can have lifelink with Sorin. I don't see Ben being able to sneak across those last 8 points.
It will likely be difficult. Ben's going to need some good draws here. Might start with an island or some blue source of mana that enters the battlefield untapped because he does have Treasure Cruise in hand.
Yeah, 7 cards in the graveyard, so island is great.
This is okay. Hangerback Walker isn't great, but it's okay.
Hangerback Walker, something we see in some of the sideboards of Heroic decks against removal. Ben playing the full 4 in the main today.
And offensive the draw, that's timely.
Yeah, excellent to have that against Hangerback Walker. He'll start there. That interaction will stop Ben from getting Thopters if Hangerback goes down.
Ain't gonna take 1. Looks like in a moment. We might have Dromoka's command here in just a second.
Yeah, puts Ben to the test to actually have a God's Willing. Determine what he wants to go for. Whether it's God's Will, whether it's a Dromoka's command, Fleecemane Lion, or Warden of the First Tree. Those are his 3 remaining cards.
Yeah, there's a lot of options here. Gonna make a vampire.
Yeah, and I think I like this. Yeah, he's gonna go ahead and fight. I like this. He's gonna fight Anafenza to Hangerback and then put the counter on the flyer. A heads up play because of the size of creatures in Banned Heroic. Banned Heroic is almost all 2/2s, so making creatures into 3/3s gives them a lot of extra value. So I like how Edward's distributed this counter just to make all his creatures slightly larger than Ben's.
Temple of Mystery here for Ben. Top card gonna go to the bottom. He's found his blue source. The problem is that it enters the battlefield tapped. Valor Stance will take care of Anafenza. Abzan Charm the draw here for Aang.
Yeah, remaining 2 cards from Ben is a Treasure Cruise and an Ordeal of Thassa. He's run out of protection spells and still does not have a creature.
Looks like it's time for Fleecemane Lion too. This is a really good turn here for Edward. He's able to play Fleecemane Lion. He can activate Warden of the First Tree, plus Sorin, get some life back, attack for more damage, and be in a really good spot.
And now for the first time this game, Edward is able to make an attack. He gets Ben down to 21, and more importantly, he gains 4 life of his own.
21 to 11 in favor of Friedman right now, but I don't love his situation. Gets to draw a bunch of cards, so that's good. But he's got some real catching up to do. I suppose we have our final update outside of this match here, Matthias. Logan Mize lost this round.
All right, so for that means Logan Mize will not be joining his teammate Steve Mann in the top 8. But bigger news, if you're a fan of Danny Jessup, Logan Mize was the last person who could overtake him for the Season 3 championship. So we have our 6th player in the Players' Championship, Season 3 points champion Danny Jessup.
Under the weather and all, but he got it done here for Season 3. So congratulations to him. We're going to punch another ticket here to the Players' Championship with the winner of this tournament. But Danny Jessup is headed to the Star City Game Center at the end of the year in Roanoke. You see Warden of the first tree, get a counter. It's at level 1. The more fear for Friedman is Den Protector.
And Ben's version of Heroic, a lot slower, a lot more able to recoup here than you'd expect. You know, Treasure Cruise into Den Protector, into more Treasure Cruise. Gives him a line, but we'll see if he can play them fast enough. A lot of damage is coming his way. And more importantly, a lot of life gain coming Edward's way.
Everybody's coming in.
1. Currently, these creatures all pumped by Sorin.
Yep. They all have lifelink, so Fleeceman Lion's a 4-power creature. Warden of the first tree is a 4-power creature. And so is that Vampire token.
Remember, Ben can't profitably block any of these. Edward, he has enough mana to activate Warden.
He also has Obzon Charm in his hand, too. And the mana to activate Fleeceman Lion. He can
do it all.
Yeah, he can pretty much do anything.
And he'll make the attack. Ben will take all the damage. He'll drop to 9. It looks like life totals have switched. Edward up to 23. Leaving up all 5 mana. He has a removal spell up. He has a monstrosity ability up. Ben trying to claw his way back, but he just seems to be too far behind.
There's favorite hoplite. Little late to this party. You see the life totals have dramatically shifted. Edward Ang at 23, Ben Friedman at 9. I don't know if there's a way out of this one here for Ben Friedman. Angle untap. He'll take a draw step. There's land number 6. The appropriate mana to cast double Obzon Charm. So many different things Edward can do this turn. He's going to start by ticking of Sorin, get everything +1/+0 in lifelink.
And so many life points going his way. Ben had the ability to claw back had he hit some of his creatures earlier, or especially the blue mana earlier. He could have treasure cruised and build up toward a second one. It's not that he can't do it this game, it's that his life total won't be intact by the time he gets there.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big issue, right? Everybody's coming on in.
Ben forced into making chump blocks to survive here.
Yeah, Ben's the one who has to make the move. Den Protector's going to unmorph. Jamoka's command's coming back. And now Jamoka's command will be cast.
Now target favorite hoplite, that means it won't take damage this turn. Looks like I'll try to have it fight down the Warden. And now Edward, who's been sitting back on spells all game, gets to assert himself.
Yeah, Obzon Charm here.
He's gonna let that favorite hoplite get up to a 3-power creature.
Well, so he gets...
Yeah.
He gets to give it a counter with Heroic, but it will only become a 3-power creature once Jamoka's command actually resolves. So Edward's going to have to make his responses before Jamoka's command resolves if he intends on casting Obzon Charm.
At the same, yeah, I mean, a lot of things to do. You can simply Monstrosity, Fleeceman Lion. Keeping the best line to keep Heroic in check is just to keep the board clean of creatures. Even if that means he has to 2-for-1 himself, it doesn't seem that bad. So it looks like he'll let that all occur.
Wow, surprising.
Okay, so favorite hoplite wasn't fighting Warden, it was fighting down the Vampire token.
Okay.
Vampire was a 3/3. Obs on Charm will now exile. It looks like it'll exile the Den Protector.
Yeah. Yeah, they're clearing up combat right now. It's a little unclear what happened here.
I believe the Warden's ability was activated and Obs on Charm was cast.
Yeah, it looks like Edward may have overpaid on mana. But all of his mana is tapped and he's left with an Obs on Charm in hand and still a pretty decent board intact.
And Ben in a reasonable spot somehow. He didn't take damage that turn. He got to survive with favored hoplite. I don't know. Maybe he could steal it from here. He's got to kill Warden before Warden starts becoming a large life linker. But if you look at his hand, he has Den Protector, he has Ordeal of Thassa. These things are possible. Have to be careful with his own life total, but we will see. If he can Ordeal of Thassa into maybe something like Valorous Stance. So the timer at the top is correct. We are on Ben Friedman's turn. If time was called during Ben Friedman's turn, that means he is turn 0. Turn 5 will be the final turn of the game. So after this, Ben will get 2 more turns. That's actually relevant because it is unlikely that in this turn plus 2 more, that Ben will be able to deal 23 damage.
A draw might be okay, though.
Right. So if you're Ben and you acknowledge that, it may change how he plays these remaining turns.
Yeah. Might have some real interest in getting to a draw because he might be an 11-3-1 that can make the top 8. He was 8-0 coming into the day.
His breakers are bound to be good because he 8-0'd day 1. It's reasonable here that he could make it at X3-1, especially with Logan Mize losing. He was, I believe, the only holdout at X3-1.
Yep.
So if Ben can play this to a draw, and that's going to be hard, Edward gets 3 full turns of attacks. If he can pull that out, he is still alive for top 8. So you see 2 Ordeals of Thassa, a Den Protector, look like a Defiant Strike.
That's where Ben's going to start. He'll draw a card.
Looks like a land. And he'll just attack down Sorin. Fetch to 8.
Looks like he's going to get a basic island. Maybe. Planeswalker Island is the choice, obviously, because of the flooded strike.
Yeah, I'm interested with how he's using these Ordeal of Thassas. I expected to see him cash some of them in.
Yeah.
But he's just not doing that. Question then is what is the game plan here then? Next attack might, I mean, it's very close to lethal. He's at 8. Here's
He's going to play a morph.
Yeah, that's Den Protector.
Yep.
He has green, colorless up.
You can return a card like Defiant Strike or Jamoka's Command back to the hand.
This is turn 1. We're on Edward's turn. See there up at the top there, that's the turn counter. Turn 1. The one beneath Warden of the first tree showing it is a 3/3.
Yeah, currently on level 1. There's a Windswept Teeth.
And Edward, what a game that looked like it was in the bag for him is limping across the finish line.
It's unclear how this got so difficult for him. I'm not sure what went wrong for him on that attack last turn when he had access to 2 Abzan Charms. Now Ben is immediately blocking. Den Protector's on morphing. It's getting back Jamoka's Command.
I mean, if Warden's a 3/3, this trade's just going to work. Edward, unless he has an Abzan Charm or something, actually I mean, it takes 4 mana to get it to level 2 and 6 to start putting counters on it, but Edward doesn't have 10 mana.
Well, he has Charm in hand.
Okay, so he can save his creature that way. He can Charm, I suppose, okay, he can Charm, have 4 mana to activate Warden, and then if he gets to the next turn, can start putting counters on it, and a large Trampler will be out of range for Ben. But all it takes is for Ben to draw maybe, I don't know, a Valorous Stance. How about a Dromoka's Command that he's going to get back?
Yeah, the command that he's going to get back is definitely going to play a role in things here.
At some point in Edward's game plan, it seems to me that favored Hoplite should have been killed. As far as a heroic target, it's among Ben's best ones. It's now big enough that Dromoka's Command is going to start eating Edward's creatures.
So he's going to exile this, and now he's going to pump.
So that gives it Trample.
Yep. And that's smart. So now 6 damage is going to come across.
Right. The 3 from Fleecemane Line, 3 trampling from Warden.
Dromoka's Command goes back to the grip.
It means that Ben needs to have answers to both of Edward's creatures, but he does have that on board right now. He can fight one down with Dromoka's Command. He can block the other.
Yeah. Ben will draw a copy of Temple of Plenty.
Can't attack, but Ben's been playing for the draw for quite a while now.
Yeah, and I think he's got to continue that. Can't change things now. So turn 2 of extra turns.
Yeah, he can give himself a chance to win next round. And here, you see Ordeal of Thassa.
Yep.
And he's going to attack. All right, Mr. Friedman, that is a bold move.
Pretty bold.
Here's 2 cards. Another
commands.
Dromoka's Command. Wow, and that's... All right, here's 1 command. It fights down Fleecemane Line. Now, if Ben didn't draw a command, was he just dead on the table?
Maybe. Maybe. It's a little aggressive.
I think he has Land Ordeal of Thassa in his hand. And I mean, so the conservative play would have been to Dromoka's Command 1 of Edward's creatures, and then sit back and hope to block and hope Edward doesn't have anything. And Ben, he doesn't seem to want to hope for anything. He's gonna draw those 2 and try to end things, and he may have done it.
Yeah, I mean, this is turn 4 of extra turns now, so this is Friedman's last turn. Now, he can't actually win this turn.
Well,
he doesn't have I mean, it would take an insane string to draw the necessary cards to do this. It would involve a bunch of Defiant Strikes.
Yeah, he does not.
This ordeal.
He does not play a copy of Become Immense. That would be the normal way you'd steal it here. I mean, the favored Hoplite is a 10-power creature right now. Ordeal will make it 11 and 12. Defiant Strike would put it to 14. He'd have to have a pretty good ordeal here.
It would have to be the best ordeal.
All right, can he do it?
And he's got to make sure he leaves white mana up.
Yeah, let's not play for the draw. Let's just try to play for the win.
Yeah.
All right, Ordeal.
Don't forget that trigger. There we go.
It's up to 11. Attack now. It's 12. Draw 2. Is that we're going to go for the kill spell?
Do I get to draw 2 or?
All right, here's the last card. It's Winds of Calcisma.
Pardon
He
me?
has a 1 of us in his sideboard of Winds of Calcisma. That's just a fog.
All right, well, we're
Drawn game.
Yeah, we're going to draw then.
Wow, and I hadn't even... I guess he has 1 of those snuck into his sideboard.
All right, as far as things I didn't see coming go,
Well,
yeah, here's a...
Oh my goodness! A Siege Rhino on the 5th turn for Edward Ang.
That's going to do it. Edward Ang is going to win this match here over Ben Friedman. 2 games to 1. He moves on to 12 and 3.
And Ben is just left staring at the board, looks around, just wants to confirm that everybody saw the same thing he did. And that happened.
I guess he still did have outs now, didn't he? And there's nothing Ben Friedman can do or say. Edward Ang is going to win this match 2 games to 1 on the last possible turn. He is 12 and 3, and with any luck, he can draw into the top.
Oh my
eight.
goodness.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
And for Edward, a game that had gotten away from him, that sinking feeling where you're like, you're headed for the draw. You probably shouldn't have been there, but today is his day. He gets a second chance, and that might bring him to the top 8.
Well, we're going to have to find out next round as this round is over. This match is over, and that was the last match of the round.